The UN Security Council is set to vote on imposing new sanctions on North Korea over its latest nuclear test. But diplomatic sources say a draft resolution for the Monday vote has been watered down. The U.S. circulated a draft following Pyongyang's sixth and most powerful nuclear test. It included an oil embargo, a ban on textile exports, and an asset freeze and travel ban on leader Kim Jong-un. But according to diplomatic sources, a new draft will no longer impose a total ban on oil exports to the north. Instead, it's opting for reduced exports. The revision is apparently meant to appease both China and Russia, who called for dialogue over sanctions. Both the veto-holding countries export oil to North Korea and have opposed an oil embargo, saying it would seriously impact people's lives. In order for a resolution to be adopted by the 15-member UN Security Council, 9 votes are needed without a veto. UN diplomats say there could be more revisions before the vote takes place. On Monday, Pyongyang issued a statement through its state-run media. It called the resolution illegal and unlawful. It also said if the harsher sanctions are passed, it will, quote, make absolutely sure the U.S. pays due price. The U.S. military says pilot error caused the crash of an Osprey aircraft in southern Japan last December. A final report on the incident was issued on Monday. The aircraft was taking part in a fueling exercise when its propeller hit a fuel hose. It crashed into shallow water and was badly damaged. All 5 crew members were rescued. Japan's defense ministry says it has received the U.S. forces' final report. It says bad weather played a factor in the Osprey pilot's ability to keep the aircraft stable. It added the pilot was using excessive speed and came too close to the tanker plane conducting the refueling, causing the accident. Okinawa's vice governor met with the head of U.S. forces but said the explanation lacked compassion.
I am not satisfied with the explanation from the U.S. forces, and there was no official apology either. We were merely told that the accident happened because of the pilot's poor skills and that there was nothing wrong with the aircraft itself.
In a statement, U.S. forces said it was a regrettable incident and they intend to continue safe flight operations in support of the alliance with Japan. The aircraft have been involved in a number of incidents over the years. Last month, an Osprey was forced to make an emergency landing at an airport in southwestern Japan. Also in August, another Osprey crashed during training off Australia, killing 3 crew members. An independent Japanese lawmaker has returned from a trip to North Korea. During his 5-day visit, Antonio Inoki says he met with the vice chairman of the Workers' Party, who is a close aide of Kim Jong-un. Inoki says the aide spoke to him about the country's nuclear and missile programs.
He told me that Pyongyang will continue development and make its utmost efforts to fulfill its ultimate goal.
Before his trip, the wrestler-turned-politician said he was heading to the north as part of an effort to build world peace through sports. German Chancellor Angela Merkel says her country is willing to be part of diplomatic efforts to end Kim Jong-un's nuclear and missile programs. She highlighted the talks that led to Iran's nuclear deal as one way forward. Merkel told a German newspaper that Europe, and especially Germany, should be prepared to play an active role in resolving the North Korean crisis. Germany was part of the negotiations that led to a 2015 deal among Iran and 6 world powers. Iran agreed to curb its nuclear program in return for relief on international sanctions. The Chancellor's comments come amid growing concerns in Europe that North Korea is developing ballistic missiles that could strike the region. Merkel has reportedly called for a diplomatic solution to the issue while backing tighter sanctions on Pyongyang. While Hurricane Irma has been downgraded to a Category 1, it's still battering Florida with high winds and heavy rains. More than 3 million people are without power. An evacuation order for 6 million people still in effect. Even after being downgraded, the storm is still delivering winds reaching up to 135 kilometers per hour. Strong winds can be seen toppling construction cranes and swaying skyscrapers. Roads in the city of Miami and elsewhere in southern Florida are flooded due to rain and high tides. Tens of thousands are taking refuge in emergency shelters. Irma is one of the most powerful hurricanes to ever hit the area. On Sunday, U.S. President Donald Trump declared it a major disaster, allowing states to access emergency funding. Irma reportedly killed at least 27 people on the Caribbean islands, including St. Martin, before reaching Florida.